Hey YouTube, Do-It-Yourself Junkie 369, and today is day 101, so I've passed day 100 finally, of building our RV-10 project. And basically last video I was taking a break from filming to dimple and deburr and prime, and down here I have the side skins done, I have the bottom skin done, I have the bottom aft skin done. The top skins I haven't primed yet, but I did dimple the aft one. I'm debating whether or not to dimple the forward one because it doesn't get installed until section 43 or so, somewhere in there. Actually even later than section 43, after you put the top of the cabin on. I've been priming some stiffeners and the longerons, and I finally have some pieces to put together. So I have my sawhorses broken out, and basically you assemble this the same way you did when you were getting ready to match drill everything. The only difference is I'm not putting on the bell crank ribs, or whatever those were called. So I'm just putting the longerons on the bottom, and I'm going to assemble this just a little bit differently than what was done initially, because initially you put some stuff on the bottom, you put the bulkheads on, and then you put the side skin on, and then you slide the stiffeners in, because I don't want to scrape up the primer. I'm going to be putting the stiffeners on, getting them located really well, and then putting the bottom or the side skin over the top of those, basically like clecoing the stiffener to the bulkhead from the inside, so that I can put the skin on, get it clecoed to the bottom, and then pull on that cleco fastener and stick it through to the skin without ruining anything or having stuff shift around. And same thing with the longerons. I'm going to put those on the bulkheads before I put the skin over the top. That way I'm not sliding pieces around. One thing I'm just realizing with my J stiffener, which is not this one, or G, not J, that goes in the middle here. I should have marked which end was forward, because it could go this way or it could go this way. So I need to look real quick through the drawings and see if I can tell which way it's facing. So it's going to be facing with the J going to the left hand side, it looks like, which is this side, because it's upside down, everything's backwards. This is actually the right hand side over here. And putting these clecos in, I'm not clecoing where the stiffener intersects a bulkhead. That way the cleco's not in the way when it's time to attach the bulkheads. Okay, I'm going to have to go back on what I said earlier, but the way the stiffeners are hooked and fit through the bulkheads, it is almost impossible to stick the bulkheads on after the stiffeners. Instead, I have to put the bulkheads on first, as the instructions show, and just be really careful when putting the stiffeners in. Okay, so that definitely scraped some primer. It's not really set up that tough yet because I just sprayed it a little while ago. So there's some spots in there. Basically I'm going to Cleco, and when I flip over I'll touch up some areas that I accidentally scraped. Okay, so on this side skin, I didn't really remember where it was in the instructions, so it might have been in the front matter that you need to roll this edge and this edge where it's overlapping the other skin. That way when you rivet it, it doesn't like curl away from the skin. And this was done on some of the other pieces, like where the leading edge was rolled around and then riveted together. When I did that rolling in the past, I used this tool, which my understanding is it is for more of creating these flanges here on the lightning holes. So I went ahead and I purchased this tool. This created a huge bend in the skin where I more want to roll it. So this should be able to provide a better roll on that skin. So I'm going to do that and then rivet the nut plates on the where the cover goes, and probably call it a night because I ran out of primer to prime the rest of the stiffeners. Okay, so thoughts on using this thing. I like that I can control how much curl is put in the skin rather than the other tool, which is set at about 45 degrees. Also, it's real easy to go and just correct a little spot that's maybe not correct. The downside is trying to do this with the dimples. It's really difficult. I think next time around I'll probably put the curl in the skin, then dimple, and then go back and correct the little spots where the dimples have flattened out the curl. And that might be a better way to go. I'll definitely try it out, find out. But the downside is this little puck versus this long handle. It's really hard to apply some force to it when needed. It almost seems like it needs to have a little bit more area that you can torque on. And now for what I really bought this reduced diameter dimple die for, dimpling these nut plates. And I could get into specifics on why you want to do this. Actually, I will. Basically, there was some people that said, oh, it doesn't matter. They've signed off claims that the nut plates weren't dimpled behind dimpled skins. And then there was other people that said they would never sign off something like that. So I started asking around why. And basically, the description I got is if your skin's dimpled and your nut plate's not, basically there'll be a little amount of standoff between that and the dimple for the screw. And so when you tighten down that screw, it'll pull the center of the nut plate in, so it'll go from flat to kind of convex like that. And then with vibration, that flexing will cause something to break or come undone. So the reduced diameter dimple die allows you to get in there and dimple that rivet hole without impacting the area for the screw. And then, unless you're using the pneumatic squeezer, I probably recommend going with the C-frame dimpler to get that force you need to dimple this. And there you have it, a dimpled nut plate. Hopefully you can see that. Yep. And I had heard that sometimes these crack. So far I've only done 4, so not a very big sample size to know, but none of them cracked. So good news there. And my reduced diameter dimple die didn't mess up where the screw goes into the nut plate. Alright, we finally get to start riveting the tail cone together. First step is riveting all the stringers. And basically it doesn't really give any instructions to do that, so I'm going to start at the back and work my way forward and go from the top down on each side. And then once all these clecos are out of the way, flip the tail cone on its side and rivet the stringers on the bottom. Back here, from the 1010 bulkhead back, the rivet gun won't fit inside, so I'm going to be doing standard riveting with a flush rivet set on the outside of the plane and the bucking bar on the inside. Ahead of that though, I'm going to be doing back riveting using this 5-pound bucking bar as kind of a back riveting plate. And I picked this up off of Spruce Aircraft. I'll put a link in the description on to this particular bucking bar. I know there's another company that sells basically the same thing specifically for back riveting on RVs, and I'll link that too. The only deal is that's about 90 bucks plus shipping, where this is about 20 bucks plus shipping. So in my mind, it really wasn't a contest over which one to get. And if I remember correctly, the dimensions on this end are almost the same as the more expensive data set, or as the more expensive rivet set, or damn it, as the more expensive bucking bar. And then this side is even bigger, and then I want to say this is a little bit heavier weight wise as well, so it should fill the same roll perfectly. I also picked up a double offset 12-inch back rivet set. In here, it looks like that's not so much needed. I checked out a couple spots with the standard straight back rivet set, and it looked like that was going to work. But I have heard that if you're planning on back riveting your wing top skins, which makes that look really, really good, then you're going to want to pick one of these up. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end this video. It was really great work. Managed to get my wife out here to help. She's really awesome for helping me, especially on video. And a good friend of mine came out and helped. We managed to get a good amount done with him. He also had a lot of great questions, and we got to talking about the airplane and probably spent more time talking than working, and I probably edited all that part out of the video, so you won't get to see it. Anyway, it's really fun having both of them help me out. I really enjoy it. I estimate for the stiffeners, the J stiffeners here, were maybe just over a third of the way done, not quite halfway done, because you have both sides, which on this left hand side I thought it was finished, but I just noticed from this bulkhead to this bulkhead hasn't been done on the bottom stiffener. So there's a lot left there that I haven't done. Plus that whole other side, all the way back to the section you just saw us working on, and also the stiffeners on the bottom. So actually might only be about a quarter of the way done just riveting the stiffeners. Next step after that would be to rivet in all the bulkheads, which is a good number of rivets as well. And I'm not sure what we do after that. Hold on. And then after those bulkheads are riveted on the side and bottom skins, it looks like we're pretty much finished with that page, and moving on to putting the webs together, or the what are those called? The ribs. They're not webs, they're ribs. The ribs for the bell crank that go in here, you start putting those together on the next page. Which, if I have some free time by myself without any help, I might come out and start working on that, because there's some nut plates and stuff that you have to assemble before you put them in the aircraft. I do have to leave them out until I rivet in the bottom skin here, so that there's no issues accessing this bulkhead and the rivets that go in there. So far the back riveting looks great. You can do this step by yourself solo if you're just going to use the flush rivet set and a normal bucking bar, but because of back riveting, it's a two-person job. But don't worry, if you're wanting to do this by yourself, you can do it. You just won't get the benefit of back riveting unless you come up with some crazy way to back rivet by yourself. Anyway, that's all I have. Like I said, we'll start the next video hopefully tomorrow. I have 2 videos in work that I'm editing. I'll probably upload one of them tonight, depending on how long it takes me. As usual, in the description, I have my builder's log, that you can download, take a look at, see where I am, look at stuff, metrics such as how long has it taken me, what's my predicted finish date, which is inaccurate now because I don't have a lot of time to spend on this, so it's saying I won't finish until like 2030. I really hope it's a lot sooner than that. Now that I am progressing out of school, I should have more time working on it. We kind of have to hurry on this because the wings, the crate date is coming up, so I don't want to have this sitting around unfinished when the wing kits show up. It would just be bad planning and a waste of time on my part of having a kit sitting here while I'm still working on this one. I guess on the plus side, I'm not finished with this and then sitting around waiting for the next kit as well. Also down in the description is my builder's number. If you're planning on building a vans, please use that when you buy your kit. They'll send me $100 kind of as a advertisement fee or thank you fee, which doesn't come out of anything you spend. It's just something that Vans does so that we are motivated to get out there and share how great building these kits are and how aircraft are. Other than that, if you haven't done so, think about subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. It really helps out my YouTube metrics. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and see you in the next one.